Trump is going to be a catastrophe for this economy. He's talking about deporting our undocumented workers. More than 70% of our farm worker labor force is undocumented. The people that pick our produce. In California alone, we contribute more than 80% of all the fruits to the rest of the country. Over 60% of all the vegetables. 90% of all the nuts. 90% of all the wine. 90% of all the processed tomatoes. And the list goes on.
It's supposed to be on the service road or the wall, or you can't get between the walls.
Thank you so much.
That's when they...
¿De aquí podemos bajar a la playa?
¿Sí? That one? Yeah. Ley del registro. I don't think we've seen enough love, right? Or people kind of taking an action to show that there's solidarity. And so that's what we want to do while taking a risk and showing like we're undocumented, but we're unafraid. And that's what it's going to take to create change. Deportations is taken so lightly, but it literally changes people's lives.
Right.
And I think because we're so dehumanized by media, our feelings, I don't know, they don't seem valid or something, right? I mean, them seeing this on the news could give them that hope to keep going, right? That they're not alone. And so we're like, hey, we can get, because we had a big protest yesterday, but also we want to get more creative with things, right? Like, we have social media as tools and we need to utilize them. Si se puede. We're here at the U.S.-Mexico border here in San Diego, getting ready to take action, be in solidarity with our undocumented community, show them that there is people fighting for them, show them that we hear them, we see them, and that they're not alone. There's a lot of emotion going on in our communities right now, and so acts like this go a long way in supporting our mental health and supporting our wellness. Yeah, coming to the border is a big risk that we're willing to take to make that statement and show our communities that we're unafraid and we're ready for this fight. Yeah.
Tell me about that fear.
So fear that comes from family separation, fear that comes from not being able to, be in a country that you grew up in. I've been here since I was 3 years old. And just to be able to not see my friends, not see family members here, it would just change everything, right? To not be able to serve the farm workers that I serve here through the nonprofit I have, or the families that we serve here. Because this is a lot, even for someone like me that is so fierce and fearless, taking actions like this is something that does bring self-aware. We're here willing to risk our own freedom, willing to use our own voices and facing our own fears, to be able to be the voice, to be the face of our communities, to be able to change all the narratives that have been said about who we really are. We are not criminals, we are not foreigners, we're not even immigrants, we are not illegals. We're already native, we're indigenous to this land. And it's time we exercise our powers and we let go of fear, because that's what's been holding our communities back for so many years. And the moment we let go of fear is the moment we find our voice and we find our strength and we find our power. And here we are at the border. As Sochi was saying, nobody really knows our stories. There's so many stories. I mean, these are burial grounds of children that have drowned, people that have tried crossing this border for a better life. And then being indigenous people, they're just walking the land. And it's a shame that this country does not see the value that our communities bring, that they do not see the labor. And maybe they do. Maybe the reason that we stay undocumented is because they don't want to pay us the wages that we deserve. Maybe it's because they want to keep having exploitation. Maybe they want to keep exploiting the labor. But it has gotten way too far. You're talking about basic human rights being dehumanized. You're talking about family separation. My mom is on the other side of that border, and I cannot just go across it to see her. I am so close yet so far to my mother, and she is just around these bars that keep us separated, that separate our family, where I'm not able to see her for her birthday, where I'm not able to see her for Christmas or Thanksgiving, where I'm just here about to be in my 30s, and I just want her to be able to join me when I start bearing children on the day of my wedding. And it is unfair and unjust that we have accepted these conditions for our communities, that there's people that haven't seen their parents for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that have to see their loved ones die and go to attend their funeral through a FaceTime. How unjust and how dehumanizing is this society to our communities when all we do is give to this country. We give our labor, we give our minds, we give everything we have just to be accepted. Just to feel like we are welcomed in this country. We have not done anything wrong to anybody. And it's the opposite. We feed this country. We keep this country beautiful. It's undocumented people that pick the fruit, pick the vegetables that people are eating every single day. It's undocumented people that take care of people's homes and people's children. It's undocumented people that keep the streets clean, keep the buildings clean. We keep this country clean. It's the undocumented people that cook your hot meals, wash your dishes at restaurants. We're the ones cleaning your hotel rooms. We're the ones making life so much easier for you. And this is how you treat us. This is how you treat our families. This has to stop. When is enough enough? And so me being someone that came here at 3 years old, I am fed up. And I refuse to let more children or anybody, because we're all children at heart, I refuse to let anybody feel the pain that our communities feel. No child should be stripped from their parent. No family should be separated by a border that looks just like this, a man-made border. I mean, the land we're on, this has always been native lands, and at one point all of this was Mexico. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, we were already here. They deported millions of us already. Many were US citizens. There was never reparations for that. There was never justice for that, and they're gonna continue doing what they want. We have to find our voice. We have to find our power. We can't keep letting them treat us like this. How many more families are going to be separated? How many more people are going to die in detention centers or from suicide when they're being deported? Because they don't know any other country but the country that they were raised in, or the country they created families in, the country they could get the whole life to. Our mental health matters, our wellness matters, and we need to start being looked at as human. It's not about just legalizing millions, it's about humanizing millions. And we are here to stay, so you bet we will be there when buses show up to people's homes. You bet we will be crossed and locked arms in front of these buses, not letting them take anybody. And we will do whatever we need to. We will march from California to Washington, D.C. if we need to, because we are not afraid anymore. And we have so many people we're doing this for. There's millions and billions of us, and we were already here. And all we're asking is to be humanized, for people to see us as humans, because the moment you do, you will realize how much ugly this country has done to our communities. When you start looking at us as the Indigenous people, as the Native Americans that we are the descendants of the survivors of the genocide on Native Americans. And this is how they treat us, by calling us illegals, dehumanizing our stories, separating our families. We're also here to represent that we are undocumented and that we are unafraid, because that's the first step to liberation, losing the fear. We pay billions of dollars in taxes every single year for decades now. You're talking about 30, 40, 60, 80 years of paying billions in taxes every year. Where does that money go? Where is the justice into putting that into resources, into programs, into benefits for our undocumented communities? It is the undocumented communities that have been funding your stimulus checks, your Social Security, your unemployment. Your benefits have came from our taxes, from our hard work. We do not benefit from our taxes. We do not get Social Security. We do not get unemployment. We do not get stimulus checks. We do not get any support from the government. We do not get any federal support from the government. We contribute so much to this country. It's going to cost more money to deport us every single year. Not only that, but you won't be seeing the billions of dollars that comes into this country from our taxes,
From our hard labor.
from our hard labor,
From our struggle.
from our struggle. Trump talks about wanting to better this economy. Trump is going to be a catastrophe for this economy. He's talking about deporting our undocumented work. More than 70% of our farm worker labor force is undocumented. The people that pick our produce. In California alone, we contribute more than 80% of all the fruits to the rest of the country. Over 60% of all the vegetables. 90% of all the nuts. 90% of all the wine. 90% of all the processed tomatoes. And the list goes on. We need to start listening to Indigenous voices if we want to save this planet. Because a lot of these people that are undocumented, they are indigenous to the land. And you are silencing them. If you keep silencing the voices of those that can advocate for climate change, that can advocate for food, pesticide reform, where are we going where is this country leading to? This country will end if we do not center Indigenous voices. You cannot tell me that undocumented farm workers will not go and rally for climate change when they are the ones facing the extreme heat, facing the extreme weather every single day. You cannot tell me they will not advocate for pesticide reform when they're the ones getting cancers, where they're the ones where their kids are getting childhood cancers from the exposure they get from pesticides. The same exposure all of us face in our produce every single day. You cannot tell me they will not be a voice for the people. We just need to start seeing them as people, as our community members, because that's what they are. So the longer we keep silencing these voices, the longer we are risking this country. The easiest way to end this planet is by continuously silencing the voices of those who will advocate and protect and put their life on the front line to save this planet. I don't know anybody that cares more about this planet, this land, than Indigenous people. And you keep silencing them and you keep wondering why we get climate catastrophes. You keep wondering why this planet is crying out for help. Because we're the ones that care. We're the ones that care for this beautiful planet that we all live on. No matter what race you are, no matter what age you are. We need to be one with this earth. And we keep treating her so badly. We are nothing without all the resources this planet gives us. Everything was already free before capitalism, before colonization. We were arm in arm together in community. Our food was not expensive. We would grow our own food. Housing was not an issue. There was always enough for everybody. We would help each other grow. We would help each other build our homes. We were in community so nobody felt alone. We were always had enough for everybody. We have natural medicine. There was no need for big pharma. There was no need for big ag. All of this is destroying our planet right in front of our faces, and you're silencing our voices. I don't know what to tell you, but you need to think bigger than what this media, what these propaganda is telling you. Because we're all at risk. We're all at risk of burning on this planet because we refuse to listen to Indigenous voices. They want to deport the healers of this planet. They already keep us occupied and oppressed. Our communities do not have a moment to think critically, to question everything, because it's survival, survival, survival. Because it's fear, fear, fear. Because it's issues like this that keep us occupied, where we can't go back to what our ancestors taught us to help save this planet. All of this is backwards and we need to wake up. None of it makes sense. We need to stop listening to hate and we need to start leading with love, because the only thing that's going to save us, the only thing that's going to save humanity, and it's the only thing that's going to save this planet. So together we lock arms to show solidarity and to show that we are undocumented, but we are not afraid. Because we know it's going to require our voices to save humanity and save this planet. And it starts with showing our people that we're unafraid, so they need to be unafraid. And that this country needs them more than we need this country. Because we can go back where they want to send us to our home countries and we can make it beautiful. It already is. It's not even an American dream anymore. It's a Mexican dream.
But we were raised here. That's all we know here. And we just want to protect the land wherever we are. We didn't immigrate here. We're indigenous people of the land. We were already here. The real immigrants came in ships, and they're colonizers, and they're still colonizing this country, this earth, to this day, all over this world. All over this world. Palestine, Congo, Sudan. We are hurting our planet and taking all the natural resources that keep us alive just to consume, just for convenience, and it's killing us. So we're just asking that you consider us humans and you listen to our voice, because we just want the best for this country, for this earth, for this land, for the people. We are not the bad guys, I promise you. We were already here.
Sí.